Nashville. You started out with a win. So far, so good. Thank you for joining me, Race.
Thank you.
All right, back to the couch.
All right.
All
What's
right.
that smile?
I just like that Ray's never has sugarcoated a word in his life. Like, he is just a very honest dude.
That is true. You were saying when we were watching that Rays plays particularly well against Raid.
Actually, Raid plays well against Rays.
The other way
around. Even though he got like killed in laning phase, like Rays.
So close. Missed it by that much.
So what I will say, and this is, I really like Raid. I think that Raid is a very good player.
Yeah.
He's a very good. He's actually. Am I going to call him the best? He's probably the best utility AD carry in the comp. I actually think he's got a good Jhin, good Ashe. He's a good team fighter. He is kind of on hyper carries though, like on Xayah, Tristana, Vayne. He's kind of like Ray's light, in my opinion. Like they play a very similar style. They both like to play front to back. I would say Quinny K's got him covered on the hyper carries. But then again, in 5v5 team fight, I think Quinny K's probably got everyone covered on the hyper carries.
All right, that's enough talk about League of Legends. Let's talk about painting. You guys have sent in a lot of submissions, and here's my favorite part of this. Yeah, settle in.
I love when we get to a segment and I realize I'm holding my book and I'm like, all right,
You're like,
it's a bloody Nick Boy segment.
Work's
Let's go.
done.
Yeah.
My favorite part of this is you guys have sent in a bunch of suggestions for things that we could paint tomorrow on stream.
You looking forward to this painting?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Jake, of course, has been talking a lot of rubbish about the beautiful Gragas painting. You have as well, but it is mainly
Yeah,
Jake.
it was
I've
definitely
been
garbage.
set up
by yourself.
by production.
Yeah, you spent basically the whole split just trashing it.
Because
Tomorrow,
it was terrible.
you'll be painting with me. You're on the couch the whole night. You're going to be painting.
Yeah.
You're going to be putting your mouth where your brush is, or whatever the expression is.
It better be good. You better hope it is a master.
you better-
I will tell you one
Gragas
thing,
so
bro.
Do you have
hard.
an
I will
artistic bone in your body?
I will tell you one thing, Bryce.
Okay, tell me one thing, please.
Jenna went away on a holiday, and
Yeah.
I was really struggling to sleep, and Bob Ross was on Twitch.
Oh,
And I
him.
have watched so many Bob Ross episodes.
excited.
I'm going to say I have watched over 80 Bob Ross episodes.
Yeah.
I am confident that with my titanium white
Yeah, I was about to say.
painting skills,
Yeah, you go to bed and you're counting sheep. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, that one's titanium white. And I'm like,
some phthalo blue
Oh.
action going on. Like I am. If I can do nothing else, I can watch Bob Ross, which means there must be some skill. Like
you
overlap.
must have absorbed something.
absolutely,
You can't have
even if
wasted.
it is to only how to clean the brushes.
There
Beat
is
the
no
devil out
of
way
dinner,
that you could have
Brush
wasted
off
that
the
much time.
excess, and you
Yeah.
got to beat the devil out of him.
yeah, I love that so much.
I think I said this last time. Never seen an episode of Bob Ross, and I
What?
think it shows in the painting.
You
Let's go to
animal.
the submissions. First one
Okay.
comes in from Lowe's Rye.
Let's get some stick figures going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some real simple stuff.
Why not? You know that scene from KDA's new song, that part where we see Akali's foot covered in neon paint? That sounds pretty easy.
Wow, real
There we go.
original.
Started with a troll. There it is. I don't want to do
And we're crediting that to Lowe's Rye.
Yeah. The next one comes
Sure.
in from Nadet Os. It's this picture. Emphasis on the tears in his eyes.
Yeah,
I feel like it would
they were
sum
genuine tears.
up... It would. It would sum up the first half of this split, at least.
I'm only doing this if overnight A2 Milk come to the table with a big sponsorship.
With a big chunk
If that
of money.
doesn't happen, not painting them.
You better back those udders up and just start squirting out coins.
Also, do you ever wonder about the moral dilemma of drinking milk out of plastic containers?
Often.
Oh, damn.
And that's why I try to buy cardboard as much as possible. But
You're a good man.
But when you have like multiple people in the house going through
Yeah.
quite a bit of milk, that's a lot of...
I think they should bring back the glass milk system.
I think so as well. I think, yeah, there's got to
Hold
be a better
on.
way of just leaving it at the front door. But, okay, hang on. I don't care what production say. We're going to talk about this for a second. This is my theory that the problem we have is that houses and buildings have existed in the same location for like dozens, if not hundreds of years. And we need to start towns from scratch. Because if we built a town like with no infrastructure from scratch, there would be pneumatic tubes everywhere, removing garbage,
Yeah.
delivering things
Milk.
to your house. Like, yeah, there would be a milk tap.
Absolutely.
Because we all drink so much friggin' milk that it's just it's central to our lives. But we can't put any of that in because it's so frigging expensive. Even putting the MBN in has costed so much goddamn money because the
we've got the
infrastructure is
MBN
so
in.
old.
Make this political, but I will just say this is the classic trap. I don't have the specifics of the milk industry.
Yep.
But like until before there were cars, like
Yep.
getting around was a problem. Now we have cars and like dioxide poisoning is like a problem.
Yeah.
Right? But like this is like there were problems with hand-delivered glass bottles of milk.
Yep.
And that is the reason we buy the cartons from like
No,
the
the problem is
supermarket.
like,
And you're forgetting about the old problems, which
Yeah.
also I don't know what they are, so I'm not well versed in my milk
well,
history.
no, it's
No,
just
no, no.
harder
You're like
to
2 steps
produce
removed
glass.
and forgetting about
No,
these problems.
it's harder to produce glass bottles. It's really easy to produce plastic, but plastic is now just eating the world.
And
Yeah.
right now, there would be such a litigious nightmare of leaving like dairy on a doorstep. Like
Yeah.
that would just be. But I promise you, under a Nick Boy government, if I ever get elected, there will be an udder, a teat in every house that is just connected to a cow somewhere.
this
and
this
that
you
could
announcing you're running for
you
parliament,
have
Nick
hot
Boy?
water, cold water, and then you just squirt out your milk straight onto the bowl.
This right now is one of the many controversial things you've said on the broadcast that guarantees you're not getting elected. This is.
All right. It is time.
hating.
Ray elect Nick Boy.
sorry.
Nick Boy for Prime Minister. There we go. Okay. So we just had milk drinking. I wonder what the next suggestion, what conversation it will spark. Sim Juve says, paint me like a French girl. Moving on.
Agree.
I would
though.
do that.
I would do that as well. I reckon we put that up there.
Yep.
Boring Lady T. Paint new sinful succulence Morgana.
That looks difficult.
That
No.
looks
That looks
friggin'
very
hard.
difficult.
That
Can
is-
we paint one of the gingerbread
Okay,
men?
speaking of the gingerbread men, what
Yep.
you don't see in
Doesn't
this
that burn?
image is that in the new skin, she has given the gingerbread men sentience
Oh.
so that she
Oh.
can like cook them alive, and that's
Oh.
just really messed up.
That is.
That's really messed
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Not the gumdrop buttons. I'm a real boy.
I think you need some milk
Cinders.
after those as well. You need some milk after those as well.
You
Let's-
would,
let's
and in
not-
a Nick Boy government, there'd be a teat in every bathroom as well. You could have a shower and just
Stop
straight in there.
talking.
The thing is, it's not actually connected to a cow because that feels incredibly cruel. What it's connected to is a series of tubes that then goes to a giant
regret
milk
my
vat.
decision.
But
This
it's
is
a
getting very
synthesized
Mad
milk.
Max,
But all
and
it
I
is
don't like
to
it.
connect us back to nature. The tap is shaped like a teat. That's what I'm saying.
Just stop.
Why?
It needs to end. You're having way too much fun with the
So
milk.
excited for when I become president. Senders 127, an ode to chilies, freeform.
Oh,
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Freeform means
I'm worried about we would need to create the
Yeah.
painting from
No,
scratch.
we could do it. Like we have plenty of we could do the chilies in the bin. We could do the chilies in the bowl. We could do the chilies being dropped into the mouth.
you could do.
Yeah.
What is that painting? The like, you know the one.
The garden.
Yeah. But it's like Swiper with a chili and Nick's mouth. Oh
not
my
bad.
god,
That's
that
pretty
is
good. That's pretty good.
That's a bloody idea.
I'm writing that down. Swipe
Yes.
a mouth.
it's your mouth and Swiper's hand.
It's Nick by mouth. President Nick Mouth. Hysterics Car says, please paint hingers.
I could also get behind this.
I would do it just because I'm not a very good painter, and that would be hilarious.
And that would be
Does it
To
have to be
then
off this
hand
picture of
deliver it to
fingers?
Michael Hing and say, "I made this for you."
Yeah. Like, and just don't blink when you say it.
Yes.
Can we pick our own pictures of hingers to do it? Because then you get to pick like the best ones.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well,
think-
I say we can pick our own pictures if we take this suggestion.
You have to get a picture of Hingers in his red jacket. That is iconic.
Yeah.
It has
The
to
funny
be
story about that
jacket
red
Hingers.
jacket is then Fish saw the red jacket, got envious of the red jacket,
Took the red
and went
jacket.
out and bought a purple jacket.
Yes.
Ah.
I was a shoutcasting manager on the time. He came back to Australia and was like, "Look at my new jacket." And I said, "You're never wearing that on broadcast." So then he gave it away. Sorry, Fish.
Bad luck.
That
bud.
was a bad jacket.
It was a
It was
terrible
Ooh,
jacket.
It was bad.
I think I've seen it in his Twitter profile.
Fishers or hingers?
No, Hingers look great.
Hingers always look sharp. Hingers,
Yeah.
I've known Hingers for years. Great dresser.
No, Hingers, like classy, eloquent,
Yep.
yells at people.
Yeah.
Fish, salt of the earth. No purple smoking jacket for Fish. No.
Next one. Still sings Os. Pabu dabbing on double lift.
Oh,
I mean,
How's your dab?
my dab?
Yeah.
Not very good.
Do a dab for me.
do one.
No.
You're the youngest one here. Do it.
I'm not dabbing. I'm not dabbing on
Just dab.
broadcast.
Just
I'm
dab.
not dabbing on
Just
broadcast.
dab a little bit.
That's not a dab. That's like the flashbang dance.
Oh, I like that. Oh, I actually saw a hilarious meme today about flashbangs, and it was just like the picture of Drake. Then it was a flashbang, and then the next two panels were like just white. There was nothing in it,
That's
and
good.
it was
That's
a good
That's
one.
fun.
Yeah.
I always get this name wrong. Amy plays.
I would say
Ami-
Am plays.
Am plays.
Her name is
It's Emma.
It's Emma backwards, but you don't pronounce
Emma backwards plays.
Any whatever. It's Emma. My favorite spicy face.
That's a good picture.
I like
It's
the
like a
artistic
good picture.
edition.
Here's the thing. She's already drawn half of it.
Yeah, it's like a little chili dagger. you
It is
kill
like
your
chili
enemies
dough.
with after
That's
you attack them crying.
That's what he eats
Chili
enough
eyes.
chilies, and then he can conjure a chili dagger.
Yeah, right. It's like it's both in the same way that Wolverine, when he sprouts the claws, it hurts.
Yeah.
It's like it's both my weakness and my strength.
Yeah.
Punu1 says that hunk of a man. I don't
Do
know
we
what
have a
he's
picture of
referencing.
the beast?
Oh,
It's
no.
a picture of Drew
No,
King,
it was
surely.
he was talking about Jews. He wanted us to paint Jews, that hunk of a man. All right,
Ah.
moving on.
Jews has
Emerald.
got 2 mentions.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jews. Well, he was part of the last.
Can I
one.
also just say, I have a picture of Jews, like I can skate, and I have a skateboard, and he fell off, and it is the perfect sort of picture to be like,
Like mid-fall?
Paint me, no, on the ground,
Oh, okay.
like,
Oh, yeah,
like,
good, good.
paint me like one of your French girls, but he's just like,
But he's naked, wearing the necklace and grabbing the
I
knee.
can't believe you've just done that to your boss. if Choo-choos, if you're watching, never do that to me.
he hard stacked it, and it was hilarious.
Oh, Juice, I feel bad for you, dude.
Just doubling
I'm
down
sure
there.
you had it as a teen.
Emerald says you used a lot of orange last time. Let's use the other side of the color wheel.
Yeah.
I
This
would
is a
like to give
serious
this a
one.
crack.
Yeah.
I think we could do it.
Okay. Dash BB says find out how much Nick Boy respects the OPL by how hard he tries to paint the trophy.
This,
Oh, there's no picture. But
Oh.
it was
Right
no, it was the Rift Travels one.
Yeah.
this
And we're
old
going to show Dash how much we respect him by never picking his idea on the show. So,
And not even showing the picture. The irony, of course, being the painting segment was suggested by Dash BB.
also now he's been demoted from King Degenerate to like
Prince.
That's
at
right.
best.
Prince Degenerate.
at, at best.
Yeah.
Court Jester Degenerate.
He's the comic relief.
At Tristan272, this is the last one. I like this one as well. I paint even Nick Boy painting Gragas. So we paint this, and then next split, we paint the painting that we paint tomorrow, and it gets, it's like
I think
the
it's
whole
genius.
I
Our
think it's
new
brilliant.
set is much cooler than our old set.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. Well, wouldn't that be bad if it wasn't?
Yeah, imagine if I watched that, like, looked at that, and I'm like,
Man, this
wow, I
sucks.
really miss the old set.
I miss that dark wall.
But surely, are you going to put the set in? That's a lot of work.
Oh, it can be sort of.
Little,
we can
just
paint
some
it.
iconic little
It,
pic- one black square, and
Yeah.
then just paint the wall.
A mere LaBeouf of paint.
Sorry, LaBeouf.
Okay, so I'm gonna go through the short list
Yeah. Okay.
because I'm sure there's a game that we need to get.
Mm.
There was Nadette Ose, me crying and drinking milk. Juves painted like a French girl, which is the Titanic reference. There was an ode to chilies. Hingers. And the Gragas. The painting of Gragas. Like the last one.
See, I thought we were going to go with Nico. I thought we were going
Oh,
to
and
keep it
Nico,
real.
sorry, and there
I
was
was about
Nico.
to say,
That's right.
yeah.
Nico was number 6.
I
I
like
thought we were
Nico.
I thought we were going to keep it real and keep painting portraits of League of Legends characters.
All right.
I reckon we definitely do the you and Jews handshake. I reckon we it just goes meta real quick.
Yeah. See, I like
There's
that as well.
There's definitely longevity in that little.
Rusty,
little
you
one.
think Nico?
I'm with Nico
Ah,
as well.
Nico,
I think
Nico.
you keep it league champion.
No.
You and I both think and I
Yeah.
both think the other one.
If we
know
both
who it
stood
comes
on each
down to?
other's shoulders,
thumb
we'd be
war.
much taller than these two.
That's
so
very
we
true.
would.
But if it came to an arm wrestle,
Let's
we
go
would
to the
snap
gym.
you guys in half.
Settle it at the gym.
I'd be fine to just squirt a bit of milk in your face. And run off.
Oh,
It all
no.
comes down to Pyra, who needs
Pyra.
to make the final decision.
I mean, I'm going to vote for the milk one because you got so animated, and I know you're going to like try
But you
hard.
can't because that's not
you
the
can't.
tiebreaker.
You can't. You have
All
to
right,
pick.
all right.
Nico or the meta Jews Nick Boy handshake.
I'm so torn on this because on one hand, like keep
Flip
it
a
real with
coin.
like champions, but on the other hand,
Okay.
it's like hold on, I will flip a coin.
No,
actually.
no.
I'm
don't.
gonna do that.
Don't,
I'm gonna do
don't.
that. I got
We're
20
gonna leave-
cents
no,
here.
No, no. Wait. We're gonna leave it up to chat.
Yeah,
That's what
okay.
we're
Fair
gonna
enough.
do. We're gonna put it out to chat.
Ah, that was louder than I
I think
expected it
someone
to
was
be.
just.
I didn't actually
we're
flip it.
under
I just
attack.
tossed it.
I'm gonna put it out to chat. It's gonna be on the
Heads.
on the Twitter. Go there, vote. It'll be up in like 5 minutes, and then we'll announce it tomorrow.
We give them way too much power.
We do, but
Ah.
but it's the only thing they have in their lives. So give them that at least. All right, we're gonna move on to the final game of the day, and that is AV versus Legacy. This was the last game of the day, and it's also the last game of the day. You can check out who's playing Sybil or Swaith.
Swaith, I believe,
Swaith?
is playing today.
So you can check out Swaith in the POV stream. Is there anything about this game that you guys want to touch on before we throw the desk?
Yeah, AV coming off a loss, Legacy coming off
Yeah,
a win.
unexpected.
AV need to get back to form.
Absolutely. Well, let's not mess around any longer. Let's throw it over to Rusty Empire.
It's only been half an hour.
Of the day.
What's
It's
5 more minutes?
And a lot of weird milk talk. Yeah.
Vote Nick for president.
It's Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Not in Nick's color, but there you go.
I'd want to vote for him, but I'm lactose
All right.
intolerant. So on that note, we've got Avant and Legacy, and as Jake pointed out, Avant coming off a loss, but they've 1-1 every week for the last 3. So I feel like they are in form. The form is just inconsistent.
Yeah, there hasn't been a 2-0 week for them, or a 0-2 week, I should say. There hasn't been a 0-2 week for them. Legacy coming off a win, though, is the big surprise. That's the big place that you want to talk about as well. And you have to think about, like, how did Legacy get that win, and what made them look powerful enough to get that in the first place? And the thing that you have to take away, the big takeaway from it, is that team fighting compositions work. They may not work every time, but to play finesse against them, though, is harder.
60% of the time works every time.
They're 2-8.
So
no.
less than 60%.
But it does work, and that's the
work.
takeaway. That's the consideration that you have to have. And that's the thing. They can continue to do that because it's simple. You press R, you can win a team fight.
Well, if you
win a
have
team fight,
Yasuo
you
as
can
well,
snowball.
I think that's a big thing, and I feel
That's
like
true.
Avant definitely have to ban that, as they do. It's the first ban. It's been banned consistently today. We also see the Karthus coming away. I believe Shock played that mid lane, actually. So
He did.
It's also a Swathe target ban, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, Spawn has mentioned it every single time he discusses Swathe as a player, but Karthus and Evelyn have been 2 of the big bans away from him. He is also a Kayn player.
Yes.
So you could also see that in the ban list.
Talk a little bit about the fact that there has been a lot of swippy swapping of the junglers of the Avant side. After a bit of a hiatus, Sybil came back in last week and was completely neutralized on the Zac. So this time, Swaith's back in, and 2 of his champs are banned away. As you do.
Does leave open a lot of strong champions across the board. However, AV not even choosing to ban one away themselves. Yasuo, Zac, Kai'Sa, the 3 bans. Legacy are going to do the same thing. All target bans. So they have just, everything is
big.
left up right now.
Yeah, so this just means Lucian is there, immediately gets picked up for Gun Crab. And on the opposite side, let's see what Legacy take. For Paprise, the Urgot comes in. These are very fast picks, actually. Urgot and then Thresh.
Yeah, the Lucian locked in first, of course, leaving the Thresh open, trying to take away the Lucian Thresh bottom lane. This is going ridiculously fast.
Yeah, you get the Alistar coming in quickly, so clearly both teams have a game plan. They're sticking to it. That's an Olaf. Normally, I'd say that's a jungle champion, but not in a game with Chippies.
Yeah, you never know when AV are playing, of course. Chippies is one of the Olaf players. Swathe, we don't know if he can play it or not yet on stage. We are yet to see that, so of course Legacy now have to respond with their 3rd pick. We've got an Alistar Lucian bottom lane. We've got a Thresh. We've got an Urgot, presumably top laners. I'm not certain. And then, of course, do they match or do they pick a different role? Because that affects the next bans they're choosing to match.
So, matching up with the Ezreal, that becomes
I can't
fairly
write this
safe
fast.
bottom lane. Yeah, I really got to take your time. Slow down, guys. Maybe they're just keen to get into the picks and bans as much as we were. But now it's nice and chill. Everybody gets to think about it for just a minute. Legacy definitely trying to build off of their momentum. Well, build some momentum, I should say. They had a long ride to get to that win over Order last week.
You know,
Lysandra
when I was working on the LPL, there were broadcast start times were definite, so it was 5 and 7.
Yeah?
And that means that if the first set went to 3 games, you would start the second set an hour late. So you would get into the draft phase for that set and legitimately would have 20 seconds to talk about the entire draft, and then you just on the rip.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's hard.
So you got
though.
really good at compressing all your statements, huh?
Yeah, you look at a comp, you're like, it does this, back to you. We're on.
Fantastic. A couple of mid laners banned away now. The Zoe, the Lysandra. Now we see Evelyn off the board.
Another
targeted
jungle ban targeted, whereas it's mid lanes at the moment away from Chaz. Lysandra, also a mid laner, of course, taken off the board.
I think Chaz kind of proved himself as like a big standout carry on Legacy in their win. Yes, he was on a Yasuo, a champion that kind of we've universally talked about being busted, but also Chaz did step up, and there was kind of a lot of hype around him as a player, especially if you watched our Legacy this week, and it was focused on Chaz as a player, and I think he's definitely kind of come out as a standout player on the squad.
A lot of aftershocks have been taken off now from mid lane's champion pool as well. Legacy have to reveal a champion here. They're going to go for the Gragas.
That should be the jungle. We saw Guts play it already.
Yep, the other place that it does go is support, but because Thresh is locked in, that will be secured.
Nah, man, top 80 carry Thresh.
I look forward to seeing that.
That definitely won't happen. Kha'Zix's locked in, so there's the mystery. The Olaf will be top lane for Chippies, and now the Kha'Zix is Swaith's pick.
Yep, has been solved here. The one place left to pick for is the middle lane. We don't know what the matchup will be, so do AV pick for the composition. Of course, Hecarim, a very prolific mid laner, as is Vi. No, we're just waiting to see where they go towards. It'll be blind.
Yeah, there was once upon a time, Hecarim mid, definitely a big thing.
Yes,
and
thank you, King.
we've got ourselves a Zillion.
We do indeed. The Time Man. The big beard Time Man.
That is a much better name
That's-
than Zillion.
that's his
Can we
name
just go
now.
with that? Wait, we need like an acronym.
You know what? You're welcome to say Big Bid Time Man in game.
BBTM.
Nope, we're gonna go with Big Bid Time Man. There's
I mean,
no
that's the-
abbreviations.
Wow, okay.
Doesn't matter, Legacy.
Big Beard Time Man.
They see the Zillion. How will they respond? What will they pick? He's an assassin
Ah.
player primarily, but it looks like
Tick
the
for
control
talk.
mage.
All right. So the Orianna in the middle. They do have an interesting ball delivery mechanism in the form of the Gragas. The problem is his barrel is anti-ball delivery.
Yes, it definitely is. And of course, some champions don't even really get affected by that Orianna ball. You think of an Alistar with the ultimate on, Olaf with his ultimate on as well. It's not the easiest of champions to play, but Lucian is a fairly low-range champion. Kha'Zix is pretty much on top of your face to hit you. So there's a lot of opportunities there to hit those shockwaves. And
Yeah.
the composition that you actually see here from the side of Legacy is very different to the Order Urgot style composition. It's not assassins to guarantee the reset on, to guarantee the fear beyond death and to fear everybody. It's much more about hitting a big Gragas flash body slam through the early game, then using that potentially with a thresh hook as well later. Still can get picks, and it's not just a ram your head into the enemy style front to back 5v5. There is a bit more finesse this
Yeah,
time.
it does feel like it is more pick comp oriented for the Legacy lineup. The question is, are they going to be able to execute on that? For a long time, this team has hunted for wins. They got one last week against Order. It was a long, drawn-out fight, but they emerged victorious. Can they do it again? Can they build on it? And for Avant, they're coming back into this one off of yet another 1-1 week. Will they be able to pick up the win once again to start this week off? They're definitely the favorites. Avant have been kind of moving themselves out in front ever since the start of the split, and this is an interesting composition that they drafted for themselves. And joining us to talk a little bit more about it is Coach Kai. Welcome.
Hi.
This is weird,
Is it?
interviewing my own
Yeah.
coach. Anyway,
Well, why don't you have the first crack at it,
yeah,
Rusty?
let's speak about draft here. We'll go with, how do you feel like our composition, I'm saying our in this case, I've been corrupted, goes against Legacy's comp? Because we've gone for some, we've got a blind Zillion in mid lane. They get the counter there. Do you feel like we're pretty confident overall with how this is going?
Yeah, we picked for composition this week. We really wanted to play our stuff, and that's what we drafted, and that's what the boys went for.
So it's really just kind of down to the comfort pickups of Avant. Is this something that you've wanted to do because you've kind of been splitting weeks, not finding the consistent 2-0s?
No, I don't think there was particularly a reason for it. We just saw the opportunity and went for it.
Okay. And digging a little bit deeper into the particulars of it, I think the biggest surprise for me was, of course, the Zillion for Shock. Can you talk me through a little bit of the how he fits into this composition that you've drafted?
Well, it's really like he just lines up really well with all the other champions on the map for us. So without going into too much detail about it, a lot of his abilities synergize with what the other champs want to do, and then let them excel past that.
Perhaps go a step deeper into Shock, not so much the champion that he's played. He is someone that brought out the Mordekaiser. He's got the Zillion this time. Is this something that you would attribute to Shock's identity as a player, or is he someone that can play meta and is just choosing not to?
He definitely can play meta. I think he's shown multiple strong performances on the meta champions, and he just has the added ability to be able to go off it and invent, and it just adds to his strength.
If that's fair. I have one more for you, though, particularly with regards to champion choices. I think both of these teams, you guys and Legacy, are kind of known for like a little bit wild card in terms of picks and bans. How does that factor into how you approach a draft against a team that also kind of likes to go for things a little out there?
I don't think it impacted draft too much, to be honest with you, this week, because we just prepared as a team that does it ourselves. We know how they were thinking. We're able to put ourselves in their mind a little bit, and then that's why we went for our consistent comp rather than trying to worry too much about what they'll do.
Cool. Unfazed and staying very cool. Thank you so much for joining us, Kai.
All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too. All right, 2 minutes into this one. Definitely want to keep an eye on that mid lane, but it's slow from the Orianna standpoint. I feel like the kill pressure maybe goes much closer towards Shock, especially if Swaith decides to get in the mix.
Oh, yeah, I mean, kill pressure-wise, it can. The thing you have to remember, though, is that Orianna loves playing against other control mages. Now, Zillion bombs are slightly longer range than that of an Orianna QW combo, the attack dissonance, but she has the shields and absolutely has the auto-attack advantage as well, so the ability to step up and harass belongs to Chaz. And you'll see a lot of that actually result in wave control and mid lane priority for the side of Legacy. So as early movements go, you would actually be looking at Legacy's mid-jungle and saying they've got a lot of freedom to do as they please on the map right now, as long as they retain that pressure that you would expect them to see.
That's fair. We talked about it kind of being all about Guts getting in there with the body slam plays. Predator Gragas. Should this be the AP Gragas build? I think we've seen him go, correct me if I'm wrong, both ways on tank and
Yeah, it's usually as needed, right? In this game, I wouldn't be surprised to see the AP build. Getting that extra damage to couple with an Orianna and an Ezreal is very good for poking even as well when setting up for sieges. It does mean that your engage is a bit more risky, but you can use the Thresh hook for that and just throw the ultimate without flash body slams even until you've got the zone use. So it's just more, I would say, set timings on that build. So I would expect to see the AP Gragas, but I'm happy to be shown otherwise if he wants to be a primary engage tool that the comp could use.
I think that's fair. Yeah, whenever looking at Avant, you know, it's been talked about before that because of the champion choices, because of the fact that we don't know if Swayth or Sybil is going to be in, and just other reasons, the way they play, Avant does seem like a team that is always kind of hard to rate. I'm not saying that's like you've got like bad Avant and good Avant. You've got 50 shades of Avant.
Yeah, I mean, it means that they're hard to draft for and against. They're hard to really understand or know what will happen, and that unpredictability is something that can be a strength, or it can be a weakness, of course, depending on how things pan out. But so far, it's actually been pretty close to 50-50 overall.
Well, that's true. I mean, yeah, when you split every week, that's enough to at least go even, and you'd already gotten out to a decent start, so that's helpful. Who do you really think is like the most consistent performer on the Avant side? I'm kind of leaning towards Shock, but I want to know your opinion.
I would say that Swayth actually, his Chippies is dead.
Yeah. We're a little late to that one. Guts kind of moved up quickly.
It's a nice gank.
Yeah.
And that's a big kill for Paprise as well. It's a lane where the Olaf can choose to play aggressive, could play slowly if he likes, but when the Gragas is up there getting pressure, they had the vision, nothing there from the side of AV to protect him, and he just goes down. That early little head start for the Urgot does wonders.
Great start, setup, great play. Guts able to help Paprise secure that first blood. And Paprise also has been a player that's kind of, he's gone big or he's gone non-existent in a lot of games. Like, I'm remembering his Riven game, but at the same time.
Well, his Vladimir game in their first victory as well is the standout for him. That was in week 1 against the Direwolves, I believe. And, you know, it shows that he has the makings of a very good player. It's just trying to find either stage confidence, perhaps it's consistency, you know, whatever it is exactly. It's something that they need to really discover for themselves and utilize him to his fullest. Because that's the thing, you know, with Legacy, they've got 2 wins right now. But I couldn't explicitly tell you this is their identity as a team.
No, they're still searching for it, right? And you can even tell they drafted very differently than they did last time around. In their last win against Order, it was a Yasuo composition. It was we want to run at the enemy team as fast as we can, get as many kills as we can, with Chaz being the centerpiece. This time, he's on the Orianna. Yes, he's still going to have an important role to play, but he's not necessarily the main carry.
Cheeky little stop of the recall there, and you're right, he's not going to be on the main carry champion this time around. In fact, that could change a bit as Swayth will find Guts in the jungle.
Swayth must have been itching to play after last week as well.
And it keeps the Orianna around, so through this mid lane, forcing him to stay for an extra wave, getting a bit more harass on. Chaz in a very unsafe position, doesn't have the teleport, and that's the scary thing for him right now. So much map control now belongs to AV through mid jungle once again. And we'll see if that pressure surmounts into getting anything, or if it's just control of the map and maybe a play.
Might just be. I think the push will probably start happening bottom, though, right? Like, with so many target bans, this is what left the Lucian open for Gunkrab, and you can see that lane's been pretty much consistently pushed. They're actually stalled out for just a second, but it's still a CS advantage over Praedyth and Crazy.
Yeah, Ezreal's one of those lanes into Lucian where Ezreal can hold his own in mid-game once he completes the first item, and speaking of holding, he's going to hold the wave here, but through the early stages, Ezreal doesn't really do a lot of damage. If he goes for the tier first, he's going to continue to not do a lot of damage, and Lucian is one of the lifesteal builders. So in order to combat Lucian, usually you have to get lifesteal of your own in your item, so Vamp Scepter builders are usually strong answers. The alternative is to outrange him, and instead of going for the tier, he will go for the Sheen. So wants to poke, perhaps threaten the health bar, prevent the lifesteal from a distance, and threaten that way instead.
Try to match a little bit more. Chippy's actually running for Paprise right here. It gives a lot better than he takes. Maybe trying to get a little revenge back from the Guts gank earlier on. Still, kind of a signature champion, or one of, for Chippies. This Olaf, seen him play it already once here in the OPL. That was several weeks
Yeah.
ago, though.
Chippy's one of those players that even at international events a while ago, you'd see him bring out his own personal picks, try and make them work. Olaf definitely is one of those for him.
It's been throughout several different years, too.
Yeah, exactly. It spans over quite some time. In this game, he did lose the first blood to Paprise, and that does stem a lot of the control that he might have had in this lane. It was a good gank from Guts.
No, that's true, and this is what we wanted to see more from Guts, to be able to set the team up for success early on in this game. And, you know, Legacy, I think it just keeps going back to this question, was the win before, was that a one-off, or I guess technically a two-off if you count the Dire Wolves, or is it something they can build on?
I mean, a win here for Legacy would be super good, not just for momentum reasons, but for the fact that they can do it with two different styles of compositions. Like, if you ask me today what is the shining light of the Legacy team so far, it's actually been the bottom lane until today, where they get an opportunity to or until last week, sorry.
Here we
That
go.
was a flash.
Yeah, this was a weird play here. The heal came out of Gunkrab hook, and Flash Force Crazy ignited as well.
Swaith is moving into the area. He's got the ult and the flash. He's
Gonna flash
looking
to clean up. That's going to be one. Into the box he goes, and they should be able to pick off Pradith. Gunkrab even dashing. Relentless pursuit behind the tower.
The Gragas is here. He's level 6, but the Orianna couldn't collapse. They're now looking for him instead. So Guts, not able to get the redemption kills, has to walk away. AV get themselves on the board with 2 kills through the Lucian and through the Kha'Zix, 2 very, very big areas.
Yeah, it was good sense for Swaith to actually know that that was where he was going to be needed for a little while, and really good bullying pressure from Gunkrab and Aladoric. A lot of summoners invested, but they got the kills. They still have pressure on the turret. They can two-man this dragon. Maybe not the most valuable, but for a team that does want to secure some picks, a Cloud Drake isn't bad to move around the map.
Old Aladoric's just like, see you later.
Hex Flash the
My
wall.
people need me. Hex flashes
I
safely.
think he's going to vote for Nick Boy. He was pouring some milk.
That's true. AV now supports Nick Boy is confirmed.
Yeah, it's been a very weird milk-themed day. I woke up this morning and like the first thing that I saw on Twitter was like that Cardi B post where she's like talking about how she has a lactate bowl. Have you seen that?
Not at all.
You know what? Okay, so you know what lactate is?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So it's like for those of you that don't know, it's like branded lactose-free milk. And she just had this long rambling post about how she's lactose intolerant, which I felt spiritually.
They're fighting top lane.
Yeah, they are. I'll get back into it in a second. I just wanted to get that out there. Paprise is going to die or flash and try to bait. He does. However, they'll chase him down. The stun, the axe, and Chippies finally gets his revenge.
Yeah, it looks like Paprise was trying to get to the wall to make the big flash across there if he could. That would have been very good separation and a hard flash to follow through with as well. But the stopwatch was just slightly out from where the wall was, and he wasn't able to cover that flash distance, so flashes upwards instead, and in the end, he just dies using both the stopwatch and the flash for nothing. And at the end, that's one of those moments where he'll look back at it and say, I probably should have just not used anything and just taken the L, taken the death, because that hurts him even more in subsequent ganks.
Makes him much more vulnerable going forward. You just always hate to see that. When it's like a 50-50, maybe you get out, then I guess it can be justified, but it just seemed like he was going nowhere.
Yeah, it certainly felt that way. Of course, that does mean there'll be a trade kill on the top side of the map. Black Cleaver done for Chippies in response to Tarbies and Phage from Paprise. So different styles in terms of their item choices. And the other thing while we're looking at top lane is that Paprise is in his Ignite phase. He doesn't have the teleport available. And that means that AV have a teleport advantage.
Right now, though, they are going to go for Rift Herald, or at least it was Swaith attempting to start it. Timely ward from Paprise means that Swaith won't be healthy enough to really start this, and it was a bit of a cheeky attempt all the same.
Crazy looks towards mid lane again. Was hovering the area for quite some time. Legacy have very good river wards on the bot side of the map.
I was going to say, they've controlled a lot of that vision. Despite the fact that it was Avant that picked up the first dragon, that was mostly due to the pressure and the kills they got down in the bottom side. Teleport will come back for Shock in the mid lane. And it's just been a little bit of push and pull. Chaz will be able to pick up his blue buff. Control mid laners. This is, as you pointed out, exactly how the Orianna wants to play. And there is a CS advantage for Gunkrab down towards the bottom side, as well as the kill edge. But Pradith should be able to match a little bit. He's got Frozen Fist now completed.
Yeah, he's got the wave clear, and this is what we were speaking about earlier into the game. Of course, one of the things that Ezreal will now try and do is clear waves, avoid the Lucian's auto attack damage, and not allow him any agency in that lane just by controlling minions and trying to keep him busy. But we'll see how he's able to execute that one, as supports, of course, do come into play, as do junglers. Paprise using his unsealed spellbook Ignite to get that teleport back. Swathe looking top.
Yep, he zooms on in for the isolation damage. Paprise is going to be trying to leap his way back. Under the tower they both go, juggling aggro, and it looks like Paprise is starting to have a bit of a rough game.
Yeah, it just gets absolutely clobbered by the bro in the top lane. Of course, Swathe was there to get the damage off, so this is one of those things where the matchup can get scary. I thought it was very good for Legacy early with that kill that Guts was able to enable. The Paprise now having a rough day on Summoner's Rift, and Swathe moves to the Herald.
Yep, this time Swathe isn't going to have any potential harassment. Guts is on the opposite side of the map looking for a dive, potentially down bottom, and Paprise is going to have to watch himself here with the item advantage. He just keeps kind of growing, and Swathe on those Moby boots is a very speedy bug. Praedith, oh, that's a big culling chunk. He's taking way too much. The Lantern pulls him back, but Aladoric was waiting there. Guts didn't end up going for a dive. Instead, he just stole a red buff away. So Avant definitely have the edge here. They're growing that gold lead now out to about 2,500, and they will get first brick thanks to Chippies.
Yeah, I mean, that's, as far as trades go, very favorable for Avant. When you look towards the bot side vision, Legacy still have absolute control.
Oh, that's insult to
Even
injury.
the big Krug. Paprise presses S. Oh, that really feels bad. I'm actually, like, physically in pain for him.
You could tell he just stopped moving for a second. It was like,
yeah,
oh yeah,
all their bot lane.
there's going to be the big play. Gun Crab knocking down Praedith, and I think that was after he arcane shifted.
But back to the important thing, if you ever see someone press S on Summoner's Rift, you know they're incredibly tilted. That's the, like, I'm not saying out of the game tilted, but that particular steal, it just really hits home.
No, that's bad. I just leave auto attack on, so I never put, I just move away from
Herald
the minions.
summoned
Or push S.
Shockwave. He couldn't get in range.
No, okay, doesn't pull it off. There is a teleport mid, though. So Paprise is here to defend. And Avant will not go for the commit, but there is one charge off of Shelly.
Yeah, it looks like they'll just take the charge. Lucian's still pushing bot lane at the moment as well, taking on the Ezreals. So they are just trying to get any damage they can. Feels like it was just an opportunistic moment to throw that one. And they still got the flash from Chaz.
Yeah. I mean,
And
they have
the
a lot of
teleport
control.
from Paprise. So really, the summoning of the Herald, while it doesn't give them something, it gives them the potential of something in the future.
Yeah. And Avant have opened up a fair amount of map control up towards the top side thanks to that turret take by Chippies. Look at all the vision that they've got for themselves in the middle of the river, too. If anybody from Legacy steps through there, Avant will know it for sure. Eyes definitely still on the mid tower.
Yeah,
but you have to respect the ball.
Still a similar thing for bot side, though. Again, like AV have put their vision and cemented it quite well on the top side. Legacy still have control wards and some river control on the bot side.
Less of them than they did before,
And
but to be fair, they had like 4 or 5.
Yeah, yeah, few. So they do have to move them time and again. But the question here is for Legacy. You know, the ball's in their court. What can they get done? What can they achieve? Where is it? What does it look like?
We're looking for like some kind of combo, right? I mean, like Chaz has level 11. If they can actually get Avant grouped up, they can maybe make a play, maybe try to fight around this dragon.
Yeah.
But it's a slow response.
Good damage from Chaz onto Shock here, though. It looks like the dragon will just go. They want the fight.
Yes, they do, but it looks like Avant wanted as well. Guts may not be able to get out of there. Maybe they can turn this one around. The Gragas getting chunked down. He does walk away. The stun lands onto the cow, and Paprise will chew him up. Talk about beef chuck.
And the end of the result there is a dragon for just a kill. Of course, they'll take the kill Legacy. That's good to get it back into their core. Paprise now 2-2. Still trying to get as much gold into him as they possibly can. The dragon is still gone to AV. They were still there fast enough, and they got it fast enough that the response wasn't a fully fledged team fight. And that's the big thing. Bring it back to Legacy for a second. What is the answer was the question. Is it a team fight? Is it a big force on something? Because they can try and get those things done, but one, it's not the simple Sejuani Yasuo that you could think of from last victory as well. It's a Gragas and an Orianna that has room for error.
And Chaz has held his Shockwave. I don't think I've seen him use it since 6.
He did zone away the rest of AV. I actually think his usage of ball control in that last fight was good. They had enough damage to kill the Alistar.
Save Guts' life in all likeliness.
Yeah, and keeps the Kha'Zix and the Illusion in the pit. So away from the action, away from the potential traders.
You know, for as mobile an AD carry as Praedith is on, he is getting himself caught a lot.
There's mobility on the other side as well, Pyro. It's
That's
very
true.
hard to just say mobility is his saving grace when they can dash and jump at him.
That's true. They've been definitely getting in his face. Swathe has been sniffing around as well. But yeah, for that last fight, yes, it was only one for the dragon. It was an ocean dragon. It's something Avant are, I guess, happy to have, but it's not like a major win condition or anything. It does seem like Legacy are trying to really catch up to what Avant are doing.
And it does feel like that if they're just going to spend this entire early laning phase playing catch-up, the leads will grow incrementally more and more until it really hits an item spike head. And I think for Legacy, that's what you look at. You actually get item spikes. That's when you try and pick your fights, pick your battles. But the question there is how many items will your opponents have when you hit those spikes respectively for yourself?
That's always a big part of it. Now, I feel like they've definitely got some damage in their back pocket. They're working off of like 1.5 at the very least, even though some of the second item spikes starting to come through for Avant soon.
Well, here's the moment though. Like Ezreal has always been known as a cheaper spiking champion. He's got 2 items to what is almost the 2 of Gunkrab in contrast to that. And you would say at the Muramana spike point, he's actually ready to team fight. You know, when you look at mid lane, they'll have matched items most of the time as well because their gold influx has been very similar. Top lane's the only place with jungle that may have some slight differences there, and that's where it really does add up for AV. But at this exact point in the game, I would say Legacy are actually in a fighting fit position.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
fair. I think the big advantage for Avant, though, is, of course, Chippy's up top because, you know, he really turned things around from that early kill where he was first blooded.
Oh, dearie me.
Tried for the bait. Bit of a whiff for Chaz.
That was
This
just
time he uses it.
Yeah, a bit of mobility on the side of AV there.
So the answer to when will they fight is not for another X seconds.
Yeah, but they'll still be able to hold. It's a blue buff on Ori. So
Yep.
if you're ever
Low
going to
cooldown.
throw a shockwave and miss it, you're going to throw it when you've got blue.
Hello, tag team. Swaith flashing in, and Praedyth manages to live off the heel. That was a bold play by Swaith.
Very aggressive from the jungler of AV there. Flashing forwards, not even looking for the escape. Bot lane's still going to trade pretty heavily as well now the junglers have revealed themselves. AV's still in control, but another kill goes over. Another kill given away.
And this time it was to Praedyth as well, and considering he'd been bullied a bit, he's been down on the CS. That's definitely good for the Ezreal.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so Legacy kind of holding here. They're not really letting the lead grow more substantial. It's still sitting at about that 4,000 mark. Shock trying for a sneaky time bomb.
And you never want to give more ultimate damage to Mark Thief in the Night, Lewis.
What a nickname. Oh, boy.
The Bandit. Maybe we'll go with the Bandit. I
Yeah.
reckon that is a...
We had a bandit back in the ULCS.
Yeah,
It was
this
El
is a-
Bandito.
This is a good nickname, I
Yeah.
reckon.
Bandit?
His ult stolen 2 major objectives.
That's fair. I think that's a good... I mean, I called him, like, the sniper. But,
Yeah,
like, that
sniper's
usually means
good.
you get kills.
Hey, sniping objectives.
Hold on. Let's... Oh. Nope, just
Yeah,
checking.
stole the Baron.
Yep. That'd be great if he stole that one. But, yeah, Praedyth has had a pretty good track record with stealing objectives.
I
off
think
of
we
that.
stick with Bandit.
Yeah, I think so, too. But you need, like, a alliteration for it. Like
Not
he's a
at all.
superhero. The Baron Bandit. It's not just Barons, there's Dragons, too. But that definitely sells better, I think.
The Baron.
No. That means he owns all of them.
He does.
Nah, he just got the one.
No, we're not doing... There's no alliteration. He's not a superhero.
I'm going Baron Bandit. I like it. Let us know on Twitter with the hashtag IMOPL.
Or just tweet at Pyrotechnics and
Or-
say you are incorrect. I'm all for that.
I want to see how many people think I'm incorrect. And how many people think you're wrong, Rusty.
The Bandit. We're Australian. We don't have to have superhero alliteration.
I just like
We
alliteration.
shorten stuff, Pyro.
Nah, it's true. You do that. You shorten everything.
Yes, we do.
Brekkie, Arvo.
Patience.
I think you just have shortened patience. That's different. That's a Rusty thing.
That's true.
Well, you might have to have a little bit of
funny.
patience in the mid game because neither team seems especially keen on fighting. But it does feel like the ball is in Legacy's court continuously about this.
Yeah, well, the pressure still is against them, right? So when you say the ball's in their court, it is still a half-court press here from AV on the flip side, keeping them down as best they can. That is the second Ezreal ultimate off cooldown that's gone towards
Who
Baron
needs
to
blue
check.
trinkets?
And the thing is, like, that's a clear sign of how the game is playing out. You could use Ezreal ultimates to poke champions. You could use Ezreal ultimates to trim waves. But he's using it just to check Baron because it is so unsafe for them to get near the area that they're using Gragas Q's, Ori Ball, and Ezreal ultimate to check. So full control belongs to AV right now. They're slowly getting their way further and pushing forwards Legacy as best they can to get those wards down. They've got one in the pit now, but
It's a big threat from Swaith at this point. And Dustblade of Drakthar completed
For
as
sure.
well. And I think Swaith has earned his reputation as a very terrifying aggro jungler. Earlier in the day, I was talking about how, like, Balkan kind of reminded me of him. They play a very similar style, I feel.
I would
And,
call a pathing genius personally, but that's
Pathing
just
genius.
my opinion.
Oh, okay.
Chip is feeling very blue right now.
Yes, he is. I wonder if he's got a buff as well. He's going to go down actually into the jungle. He was looking for blue buff, but didn't find it. Oh, there it is. Hey, it fits.
He's feeling the most blue. He's even got a blue chroma on. And we should take a second to think about scaling here as well, because I have a feeling that Legacy are not too worried about the scaling of their opponents compared to themselves. And Orianna and an Ezreal in a late game team fight is a force to be reckoned with.
No, that's very true. And you look at like the likes of Illusion, who's not necessarily going to be known for that as much.
He's got a lot of, like, he's known as the ice skater in late game, right? There's so much mobility there if you go for the Essence Reaver build, but against the opponent's comp, he's a mid-ranged AD. There's another Ezreal ultimate checks. This time it actually finds Purchase and
Flips out.
forces Ali to base.
Yeah. Aladoric having to back off of that one. You know, I asked about like consistent performance and like how you kind of judge like AV as a team based on how different they tend to play sometimes and the champions they choose. Aladoric is like, out of all of them, the most consistent like champion picker. He has like 3 champs. I guess it's just like the support meta. But the dude plays like Thresh, Braum, Alistar, and we haven't seen anything else. I don't think he's been targeted. I think everyone's just looking at Avant and are like, we had to ban these weird champions.
There was a lot of target bans in this game as well, but you know, when the game was against the Chiefs, there was a lot of support bans back and forth between each other. I think that is just kind of meta related more than anything else. So yeah, I mean, he's one of the few that we haven't seen some crazy things from.
Hasn't had to.
That's true.
But Aldoric's been pretty consistently decent as well. I think he's a support that 100% carries his weight.
Yeah, he's just a good young player running around on 7-0. Not to take away from his opponents being good young players or not.
No, that's also true. I mean, Legacy coming in with kind of a very almost patchwork lineup in a lot of way, like role swapping players. Praedyth, previously a top laner. Crazy, I believe, role swapping as well. You know, it's
Chippy's
a very different type of lineup, and this is going to be another Baron attempt.
This will be done fairly quickly. Blade of the Ruined King user as well on the Lucian. Kha'Zix's having that isolated damage.
Ooh, it's early.
Ezreal ult spots them. It's not going to steal, though.
The Bandit does get eyes on it, though. Guts is around the back, and there's no answer. The ball comes through, and they don't need to attempt the steal because the threat of the Shockwave was all Legacy needed to stop Avant.
Yeah, and they just disengage. I mean, AV currently have top wave pushing, but bot's in a neutral position. They just bring Chippies over to try and force it in a fast pace. You know, if it was Mountain Dragons, like we saw from the Chiefs game, then yeah, potentially that was actually already done in time. And not this time, it's Cloud Dragons.
All Cloud Dragons today, which is, I guess it's appropriate because it's been super, super muggy over here in Sydney. No fire, no... Well, lots of water, too, I guess.
It was the Mountain game just before as well.
That's true. There was one. Darn. Why can't the RNG fit the weather, Rusty?
Because that's not how RNG is.
Yeah, by definition.
But the control will continue. They'll stay around this area, clear all the wards they can, and it seems very much like AV don't want to start this Baron. So we're in a lull. They're going to force their opponents to try and come to them, maybe get a pick as best they can. But in the meantime, slow League of Legends.
Hold on. Chippy's trying to bait Paprise. Swaith's still waiting here, but Papri's not falling for it. Not one bit.
Well, it's a fruitless effort. Even if Paprise decides to try and alpha his way up at Chippies, he's 2 levels down. He's down in items. It's not really
he might not get the option. Flashing over the wall. Paprise knocked back into 3, and even Gunkrab is going to come in as the insurance policy. This means Avant will be able to fire down this turret. Slow response rotating from Legacy.
And it's like we said last game, you set up all your vision in one area. Look at Legacy's wards, and there are none on the bottom side of the map as Aladoric takes a lot of damage, but the turret does as well.
That's half its health already. It will recover, but very, very slowly. Legacy, as much as they've been focused on the Baron side of the map, kind of losing out everywhere else. There's going to be mid lane tower fire down, and that should be just enough to get it. The minions finish the job off.
And I think that's a really reassuring moment for AV, proving the Baron isn't the be-all, end-all for them to win the game. You know, like they can get a big lead without it, and they actually are able to push that lead further without it once again, bringing Legacy around the map, pushing and pulling them. But Legacy still have control around the Baron, and choosing to do that objective still gives them a window of opportunity, and that is all Legacy need for a Shockwave to connect. For an Ezreal ultimate to steal, you know, something like that, still on the cards for them.
The theoretical threat of a Legacy team fight has been keeping Avant on their tiptoes this game for sure. But they have managed to open up a decent lead. I mean, Legacy have 0 turrets in this game, too. Like, we keep talking about how close it feels, but it's 5 turrets to none.
Oh.
And that's a big chunk of the gold game.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not actually saying that it feels close. I'm saying that it feels very tense.
Oh, I'm saying it feels close.
There is,
but I'm clearly wrong.
It is tense in this game, right? Like, it feels like a single moment could break it. Like the game could either end in AV's favor or suddenly it's in Legacy's.
But it's been a very slow trickle up to Avant otherwise, right? Like this entire game, if you look at whether it's gold graph, whether it's how you would ever visualize tempo and all that, it just seems like it's just creeping slowly in favor of Avant, steadily but surely. Just it is never really going to seem enough for Legacy to not be able to reverse that with one big fight that Avant have not given.
How do you visualize tempo?
With clocks.
With
Because it's time.
okay.
Yeah. Or I'm going to have like music people yelling at me on Twitter or something.
No, that's fine.
Tempo.
No, I get it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm not sure.
I have a habit of not acknowledging things. That's
Nah,
my
you
fault.
just don't show your cards, man. You're close to the vest. You're a
I am.
mysterious man.
I like that.
Yeah. The international man of mystery.
No, I was going to say local man of mystery.
Well, I mean, you were international in LPL. Now you're the local man of mystery. That's a good nickname for you, actually. It has a lot of
abbreviated,
words.
it says mum. I don't like it.
I mean, as far as the shoutcasters are concerned, I feel like you'd be the mum.
Oh, I would not.
But you're like the fun mum.
I hope Nick Boyd and co are listening to this, because I really feel like, first of all, there's two dads up there. So they would know that I'm definitely not the mum in any capacity as a personality. I'm actually just the geeky uncle, I reckon.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good too, actually.
Maybe I'm not. No, I'm not.
I'm like the cousin from overseas that you only see every few times a year.
Egbert that comes in for Christmas.
Egbert. That's a character in Dilbert, I think. It's been a while since I've read newspaper comics.
Oh, teleports, two of them.
Hey, it's Baron time! Holy moly, Avant hit the go button
The
in a big way.
response is there as well. Legacy have teleported. The fight is on.
This is going to be happening
will
right here.
contest
Down
this.
to half health. Alador going over the wall. Guts is going to go golden. The Baron is abandoned as the fight is on. Paprai is going to get taken down by Swaith. And the rest of Legacy pushed back into their own jungle. Guts is still
he's
up
dead.
though, and Swaith gets turned around. There's no smite on the Avant side. Shockwave will pull in the Zillion, but they just can't kill Ian. And it looks like Legacy trying to push it forward. Aladoric, Gunkrab, both incredibly low. They'll finally find purchase.
That is an incredibly hard force from AV, and Legacy with no hesitation will respond now. 4 people strong, jungler and support dead from AV. They chunk this Baron. AV know though, will they respond?
It may not have been a wombo of a combo, but Legacy found the fight they're looking for. The question is it enough?
I think they
Paprai's
get it.
playing goalkeeper right here. The smite comes in early. Guts does get the Baron down, and now on to 5 members as Crazy had already backed away. They look to turn this fight here. Avant, they're trying to back off it, but Shock is still trying to close this gap. Get one stun with the time bombs, not enough to kill Paprais. He limps away.
Paprais takes no damage. They have to let him go, surely. It looks like Baron just goes to Legacy. They clean it up. They get the objective. And in that replay, you will see one of the biggest forces I have seen in League of Legends, where everyone except Gunkrab basically flashes over the wall, and it wasn't even fully synchronized. Aladoric, he goes in, he hex flashes, he finds Guts, but the Zhonya's is there. And then it's Gunkrab's turn to dash over. Shock has to join him. He's like, well, I can't tank Baron solo. And then all Chaz has to do is walk in, kill one person and threaten the Shockwave, and this fight belongs to Legacy from this point onwards.
Yeah.
And Paprais does not take damage.
Chaz really dished some serious DPS onto the Kazakhs. That's when things really turned around here. And Avant, I think they just spent so much trying to force onto the fight. So now it's Legacy Baron. Obviously, they're not in the lead, but they've definitely taken 2 steps forward here, and it's Avant that are trying to defend.
Well, the gold lead has closed significantly. It was about 7,000. Now it's 5 Baron in their hands and no turrets taken. The opportunity to get that gold is present on the map, and Baron's exactly what they need to do so. Zillion is buying a whole host of time and controlling the wave, but I feel like this turret will just be an inevitable fate that it goes down. Unless AV respond. The real flash is available for Aladoric as well, so keep that in mind for flanks.
Oh, Cannon Creep died.
Shock is just
Those darn
littering the
bombs.
map with bombs.
He's only on 2.5 items, by the way. I mean, okay, he's got double needless, but, you know, soon TM, death cap.
Good Ezreal ultimate.
That was this time. No need to check for the Baron. They know exactly where it is. And Legacy will finish off their first tower of the game as you pointed out, lots of standing gold for them to cruise around the map in a crew, but they're going to have to be careful that Avant don't engage at their backs.
Yeah, 32 minutes in the game, they will secure the first turret of the game, but they don't get anything more than that. They want to stay mid. This is Legacy's resolve. The current situation, they're strong. If they're grouped as 5, they are still strong. So they stay grouped as 5. They go from lane to lane grouped as 5. Paprise is the first to arrive here, but Chippy's knows that there is an entourage following. They will all be here, and another turret will go to Legacy. Gold gap closes to 4K, maybe even less.
Yeah, but look what Avant are going to try to do to answer. I thought they were going to run down mid, but instead they actually turned and 180'd here, possibly looking to rejoin Chippies.
Still quite some time left with that Baron buff, you would expect. So,
What's the plan for AV? Are they going to force a fight?
Well, we don't know until
Turned
we
out
see
well
it.
last time.
It's hard. Once again, the low-range champion of the Lucian being a lot of their damage.
Swaith was trying to get the flank on, but this is where Legacy's warding comes in.
Does make them walk the long way, and they're just going to recall, use that Baron-empowered recall.
It's a demolition crew strategy right now for Legacy. They're
Absolutely.
just moving as 5, knocking down turrets,
Big
backing
ol'.
away. Nice little on schedule, on time. Start at 7 a.m. bright and early. Wake everybody up in the neighborhood. Wash, rinse, repeat.
Most importantly, their attendance is 100%. They're all there. And that's the important thing here is you don't want to get picked off by a Kha'Zix on a flank. You don't want to get picked off by Lucian's potential burst or assassination if you're a carry. They play respectfully, Legacy, and it's the correct call. And now they get themselves within arm's reach of this game once again. They are set up in not a winning position, but definitely not a losing position.
I mean, you got to just think back to last week against Order. This team had to fight back from a deficit, had to come back into the game, had to start getting Chaz on the board with a Yasuo.
Chaz is big.
Exactly. And
360
Chaz was 0-0
CS.
for a long time, and then all of a sudden, he gets one fat chunk onto Swaith, and he's a massive threat. 3.5 items, and he's basically terrifying. This is the late game scaling Orianna.
That's the thing. He was always a threat. He just never really got those kills to hit it home harder, but almost 370 CS, a 700 gold bounty on him. He's in a very comfortable position, even has that stopwatch ready, hasn't needed to use it. They're going for guts super hard, but with the Zhonya's build, hard to kill. Hard to just assassinate, hard to just burst out.
Ooh. That was a little ignite from Paprise as he swaps back over to the teleport.
Yeah.
Seems Legacy are a little indecisive of where they want to go,
This
focus
is
on wave clearing.
Very wonky lane assignments, actually. AV have put their Olaf with Bazillion bot lane, both running teleport, so they're looking for like the 3-2 threat, but they really have to respect their opponents. Predator was popped here.
Shock is still here, as you mentioned, and they've let the Lucian go solo up top, but Gun Crab isn't too far away from Alador. Really interesting move by Avant to try and pull Legacy apart.
Yeah, it really separates the opposing team, but there's no vision from AV here on the top side to safely step up and hit that turret.
Here's Chaz stepping up. Aladoric shows face. Chaz is not going to be caught out that time around. Still, though, Avant are the ones pushing.
The dynamic duo have moved from top to mid now and probably take a fair bit of chip here, but it's very hard to chippy the chippies when he's got a Zillion there. It's impossible.
You're full of them this week.
It's impossible not to say.
Chippy
Okay,
the
it's like
chippies.
only. It's impossible not to say the word only when
Or get back.
Chiefs. Yes.
It's hard. Some very difficult names in the OPL to not get tongue-tied over.
God, it would be great if
Yeah.
Shock's name was Chunkies, and so he had like chippies and chunkies damage.
Is this an ice cream commercial?
Okay. That's true.
That's just brilliant.
Chocolate chippies.
How do you
banana
define the
chunkies.
verb chip to chippy? What is to chippy someone?
Chip damage?
Just chip damage. Okay.
Chip away at the health bar.
Ah, good.
Whereas a bigger amount of chip damage is chunk damage.
Yes, that's a lot more. Because what is a chunk but a large chip?
Yep. That's correct. That was why
I can
said
tell
it.
that it still broke your brain a little bit. So I'll give you a second.
No. No, we're
So-
okay.
No, okay, good. I don't actually want to break your brain because that's gonna be problematic. We only have so many casters down the line.
We're achieving Zen right now. This game
Yeah.
has slowed down for so long. We're at 37 minutes in.
Gotta visualize
Note
the minions.
that it is Elder Dragon.
That's another
And
objective
one
in 35
team
seconds.
has 5 dragons.
Yeah,
So that's very scary for
but the
Legacy.
other team is scary as 5.
Yes. But with Baron and potentially the Dragon up at the same time, you can see AV have chosen their area of priority. Legacy are just focusing on getting mid-prio, preventing their opponents from getting that themselves. Using that to get advantages, perhaps move to the Baron now from having it.
Guts, barrel checking. This time Legacy feel a little more confident to get in the way of the Baron pit. Tower does fall up top.
And you know,
after a lot of chip damage.
I have a feeling that a Kha'Zix and an Olaf can just duo the Elder Dragon while the rest of the team try and threaten the Baron.
Kha'Zix is there. No response from Legacy except
He's
to start moving
definitely
down the
hitting
mid.
it. He is taking damage on the top left of the screen. You can see it chunking. He's hitting the Elder Dragon. He's a Kha'Zix that does a lot of damage, but he's solo. Chippies may move over now. Legacy,
Here we go.
They don't know, but they are starting Baron
They
on
see
the assumption
Alidoric.
that he is.
Can they finish this off? They've left the pit in a quick hurry here. So this is some great acting by Avant.
Can we go to the Elder? It's
It's
gone.
got to get soloed by Swathe. Holy crap.
That's a 5-Dragon Elder just picked up. Baron control should just
I didn't
be
know
AVs.
Kha'Zix could do that.
Well, when he's got the items he has, it's a whole lot of single target damage.
Ah.
And the Legacy have just recalled, and they've started Baron.
Holy moly, this was a
Oh,
big
Guts'
old
health.
debate by Avant. Guts is zoned out of there. That's going to be the entire kit and caboodle here for Avant Gaming. Guts is going to get knocked back and away. Baron, Dragon. Avant just sneak away with it all. Talk about
Swathe-
thieves in the night.
Swathe does flash, but that's just to keep Guts away, and it trades flashes on junglers in the end. They get both objectives.
So this is a good, this is going to be a solid 4 minutes of terror for Legacy.
Oh, yeah.
Get ready for it.
The first minute and a half is the scariest when the Dragon is still on them. Of course, it's Dragon number 1. Elder Dragon number 1. Number 2 is the
We may
described
see-
by Riot, Game Ender.
We may see that one before this game is over at this rate.
It actually just applies black holes to every champion. They just become too strong. They
Everything gets pulled into them.
destroy everything around them.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting, interesting effect to just have like a gravitational pull on every champion, so that you'd have to fight.
Like a shockwave.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if that's how shockwaves work in real life. They're more like
It would be, okay, it would be cool if there was a champion that could activate, like imagine Aurelion Sol could activate a gravitational
He
pull.
would be the
And what it would do is it
champion.
would speed up people around you in like an orbit.
so as long as you're in, or it's like an aura.
If you're in orbit, you get propelled to leave a direction of your choosing.
It's just like get launched at people. Can you imagine like people would run like weird like maybe just throw an Alistair in there or
Zillion.
something. Yeah. All right, so
That's one turret gone. The second one chip top as
soon
well.
to follow, and
Mid being
Paprise
threatened.
double team here. Chimpies and Swathe are going to tag team onto the very tanky Urgot. He will live,
But that
but that's
brings
more than we
4.
can say for the towers and the inhibs. Avant are starting to close the jaws on this.
Yeah, 4 people respond to the fight bottom to keep Paprise's life, but the inhibitor just goes, and top lane gets threatened during all of this as well.
Legacy just don't know which direction they can actually go at this point. One inhibitor already fallen down, the second one under heavy fire here.
have to
the
pick.
minion's still doing the job.
You have
In fact,
to
a
pick.
couple more shots is all it's going to take to finish the job. Down it goes, and Legacy have yet to go for a play.
And when do Legacy draw the line? There is one inhibitor left. The hook just goes wide, but there was a QSS there for Gunkrab anyway. Getting that QSS would have been very big, could have opened the gates for something to follow up, but now they pressure one remaining inhib. And look at the way AV are playing this. They're not grouping. They're keeping Baron on those sideways. Praedyth has almost died. He flashed away from a Zillion.
He's not going to be in this right now, and that means the floodgates are going to be opened into the mid as well. Avant just using the pressure to slowly push through and chunk away everybody. Into the line goes Chippies, and he was just chasing Legacy off. That's all 3 inhibs. They're going to have double waves of super creeps. They may not even get to that point because Avant are not leaving.
Legacy have 1 minute from right now, but the Nexus is being threatened already. They have to do something.
One Nexus turret goes down. Alidoric looks to try and start the fight onto Chaz. The hook goes wide. It doesn't land on to Alidoric, and Paprise in the front is still being chunked out. Crazy as well. Chippies is a man possessed. He will not die. The angry Viking runs into Paprise. Praedyth takes down the cow, but Avant do not care. They see the win in their eyes.
Oh, the flash from Gunkrab. He wants to go for more. They're trying to end right now.
They'll be able to do it here. There's not much of an answer from Legacy. Look at all these minions. Chippy still hitting. Minions still hitting enemies. The shockwave goes in. That's a shutdown, but it is not nearly enough, and that's game over. Avant with a close.
An absolute slog in the end from Avant, but they do get the win, and that's what matters for them at the end of the day. Legacy, their mental resolve, they fought hard, and they did fight until the very end, but they just couldn't find the fight that they needed. They get the Baron, they close the gold to 5,000, they get a bunch of things that, you get that feeling of, is this it? Is this the start of the comeback? Is this something that Legacy needed?
But then Avant just kind of pull the wool over their eyes and grab a Baron and an Elder Dragon. I think credit everyone with like an Oscar-worthy performance there for making it seem like they had everybody waiting in the wings at Baron while Swaith was just sneaking away.
And the way that, AV actually sprinted at Legacy when they were doing the Baron was this indicator of, oh god, they're all here, like we shouldn't do this. We've brought them off the Elder, however, and suddenly it was soloed by a Kha'Zix. That's not something that you will always account for in League of Legends, but in this case it was something that Legacy probably should have put focus towards, because if you ask me, 5 dragons on an Elder Dragon team then is pretty terrifying, and you may not want to give that one over ever. No matter what the risk is, you should probably try and respect it.
It was a slow creeping incline for the game in favor of Avant, most of the game. It did turn around. There was a critical fight. There was a stumble there by Avant. Legacy had a chance. We wondered about the comeback. But at the end of the day, Avant just kind of showed that they played it out a little smarter, a little bit better, and it was enough to net them the win.
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, they did just hold true to their style, to what they wanted to do to win. They got that win in the end, and that's what matters, but there were still definitely hiccups and things that other teams will be putting a pretty keen scope on.
They're going to have to if they want to not lose out to Legacy. Now, to talk more about that game, we're going to send it over to the couch.
Who is the mum of the OPL?
I don't know. Good question.
Because I do think it's Rusty.
I
Because
think
you're
so
the
as
dad,
well.
you're the kid, I'm the uncle,
Offensive?
Rusty's
You
the mum,
def-
Pyra's the foreign exchange student.
You definitely have like cool uncle vibes.
Definitely.
But that's the only
You
compliment I'm
saying
ever
I
going to
don't
give you on
have
this show.
cool uncle vibes?
No.
Go to your room.
Someone else who doesn't have cool uncle vibes, Legacy, at the moment, because not necessarily making it all the way through. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that AV are actually having problems closing out games. That's what I'm actually trying to say.
Yes.
Okay, so I had a thing that I was going to start on, but let's talk about AV first. So AV's early game seems pretty good at the moment. Their setup seems pretty good. They have like some serious problems in the mid game. I don't really know what's going on there, but they seem to like have priority over the right things. They're accruing dragons in all their games, but they just like they have an Olaf and a Zillion just run at someone, start flinging axes at them, like group up. They seem like they had such a good comp, and it just slows down so much.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like you can commend Legacy for like sticking in it more often than not, but AV should definitely be able to close that game out a lot
Oh, that was like a
sooner.
28-minute game.
The fact that it did come down to a like Kha'Zix soloing an Elder Dragon with 5 dragon stacks and then being able to just like run at Baron and being able to do that, like is kind of hilarious to me. Like that is a very interesting way to close out the game, and credit to them because it's creative. Right? I feel like knowing Swaith from like solo queue and how he is as a player, like that sort of stuff is genuinely cool. Not many junglers in the OPL would go for that play, but I feel like it shouldn't have been necessary.
Gotcha.
Right?
Because I will tell you when this game was over. As soon as they forced out bottom lane and Swaith flashed over the wall and picked up a double kill and took down bottom lane turret, like they should have been able to, that game was 100% like, put it in the books. Ezreal from behind can do nothing against an Olaf. Like, Olaf is going to get Zillion sped up, going to have his 2 bro axes, and he's just going to bro him in the head like 1,000 times. Like, bro. And then he's going to come back alive if they do manage to, like, shockwave him off him or something like that. And then he's just going to bro him again. And, like, that was just such a confusing mid-game. What I will say, however, is Legacy is, like, the physical embodiment of Tim Carbon Wendell. They are, like, the battlers. They stick in the game. Like, it doesn't matter whether you give them, like, a centimeter or an inch or whatever, like they're hanging on for dear life right now, and that's how you get wins, because that's how they beat Order. They nearly beat Avant today, and if they keep doing it, they're going to beat more teams like that.
That's right. But someone beat them, and that team was AV, and we've got Aladoric at the desk with Pyra.
Thank you very much, Nick Boy. Yeah, let's start there. How does it feel to get a win over the physical embodiment of Tim Carbon Wendell?
Feels pretty good, but I feel like we took too long to close the game, so yeah.
Yeah, it did seem like you guys had some stumbles. At first I was thinking, maybe they're just respecting the Orianna ball, like maybe it's getting into their heads. What is the comms like in the team when you guys are like actually creeping up towards that win, but you're not actually going for forcing any plays in the mid game?
We were just talking about how we could, like, what objective to play for next, and we identified that we wanted to go for top tower, and Baron would be good. But I feel like our setup was just not good enough to, like, go for top tower, and, like, we just played too scared, I think, like, to not lose, I guess, in that scenario, because we're so far ahead. I don't know why, we're just really nervous that game.
Okay, but something clearly changed when Swaith started doing the Elder Dragon solo. Was that like a solo call, or did everyone just think, oh, they're not going to see this coming?
Yeah, like, we knew they had no vision bot side, and we knew they were going to go top side to, like, contest Baron, so Swaith called that he could solo Elder, and just to, like, try and stop them from taking Baron, or like even delay it so he can get there in time and we get order for the fight.
Fair enough. Okay, so I'll ask you a little bit about like maybe the dynamic and how it shifts when you're using when you have Swathe versus Sybil, and like what are the big differences in game that you notice as a support player?
With Swathe, I guess he does call a lot for vision with me. Sybil is also very good at looking for like in the moment plays, so I guess that's the two defining factors for me, I guess.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so how confident are you guys feeling going ahead in the weeks? Because you kind of split weeks each time, and you have Chiefs up next, which is going to be a very tough one. How confident is the team feeling overall at the moment?
Well, we're feeling pretty confident going into tomorrow.
Ooh.
Even though today was a bit of a stumble, but we know what we did wrong and we can work on it.
Okay, well, knowledge is power. All right, back to the couch.
Knowledge is power. And to quote someone who knew something was coming earlier, as Bryce walked out of the room at the end of the last game, boys, we're going to have to eat some lemons.
Yeah, we're lemon boys now.
We're lemon boys. We're the lemon boys. You got excited about it because you were like the three of us all lost
We're
together.
all on the couch.
And then we're all going to be the lemon boys together.
Yep.
So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to close out the show, and then at the end, we'll eat this disgusting... is it a fruit? Is it a vegetable?
It's a fruit.
No one knows.
Is it a vegetable?
No one
It
knows-
grows
no one
on a
knows-
tree.
No one knows what a lemon is. No one has any understanding. So, but let's take a look at the results from today. Let's start that off on it. We'll take it off with spicy tips.
Ah.
we've
This
got
is a new
tips.
graphic.
Yeah, this is a new
interesting.
graphic. So this
Interesting.
is how we lost.
Can I say the new graphic doesn't actually really clarify anything? Like it.
I mean,
it's,
you just count the red X's.
yeah, but it's still I don't know. Just give me a number.
We all got one wrong.
Yeah.
No, we didn't.
Bow down,
Oh, it's the three of us.
lords.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I got
done,
perfect
Rusty.
tips.
He's got perfect tips.
You are literally the vanilla ice cream of the tipping competition.
No, I'm not.
You are so.
Wait
you
till
go-
tomorrow. Wait
No,
till
I'm
tomorrow.
not.
If
No, I'm not.
if someone is above someone on the ladder, you tip them.
No, I always tip Chiefs. Have you noticed? I've done it ever since Swiper made me feel bad.
That is wow. That's a risky tip.
It's a
They
risky-
have
Hey,
not
wait till- I'm
been,
telling you,
they
wait
have
till
not been
tomorrow.
top for 1 week, and
Wait
I
till
always
tomorrow.
tip Chiefs.
Wait till tomorrow. That's all I'm saying.
This is,
Have you
okay.
got something planned for tomorrow?
I've got something, but like maybe you guys will just pick the same as me. I don't know.
Potentially.
I mean, look, I could have gone risky. I could have tipped Order to win.
Mum's just tuned out. Look, she's having a cup of tea. All right, let's take a look at the games for tomorrow. No, let's take a look at the results from today. Where are we up to? What graphic? There we go. Today's results: Bombers versus Direwolves. Bombers took out game number 1. It was then Order v Mammoth. Mammoth taking the win. Chiefs v Gravitas. Chiefs cleaned up in the end, and then finally Legacy and Avant. That game finally ended in favor of Avant.
we're tied on the ladder. Completely tied.
Oh, nice.
Equal head to head.
Hell yeah, brother.
And Lemon Boys.
And lemon boys.
Are we proud of that?
We even
I mean,
win rate.
look, it's better to be equal fifth than equal last right now. I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Here's my question: are we worried Lemon Boys is going to stick?
Nah.
I am.
I like it.
Games for tomorrow, I'm guessing, is where we're heading to. Yes, starting us off. Bombers v Order. Match of the day?
No,
Some would say.
no.
Some would
Oh.
say. Some might say.
That is a team on a 7-win streak versus a team on a 4-loss streak.
But you both have potential. Gravitas versus Mammoth.
Match
game
of the
number
day.
2. Match of the day there.
Match of the
Chiefs
day.
versus AV. Match of the day number 2.
And then Direwolves versus Legacy.
Yeah.
I'm actually really interested in Direwolves versus Legacy.
I am most excited about the first game of the day, Bombers versus Order, and then Direwolves versus Legacy. Genuinely, like the top and tail of that show, super interesting.
Why are you interested in game 1?
It's an interesting game. What do you
Yeah.
mean?
I
It's
feel
piqued
like-
my interest.
Some could
Eat
argue.
your damn lemon.
Some could argue the more that someone isn't interested in that game, the more that the other people on the broadcast are. All right, it is time to eat a lemon.
Whose pinch roll's better, mine or Bryce's?
Oh, probably yours. I did mine earlier than you.
Is
We've also got pinch rolled black jeans, so hell yeah.
Which
This
one do you
is
want?
these are quarters. Somebody said eighths earlier, and I was like, wow, that's very generous. I'm not going to say anything.
That's a real sliver.
And okay.
What are we doing?
I can't pick up the lemon. I can't. Okay, there we go. I've lemon.
You're
up.
just fruit isn't agreeing with you today. You snapped your banana. Yeah.
like it was a roughie.
Just
Apple
quickly.
had wax on it.
It's a vegetable. Okay. 1,
Is
2,
it?
3,
Oh my
go.
god. Oh. Oh my god. Actually, hold that thought. This is not that bad. I mean, I'm crying, but it's not that bad.
Why are you crying?
I genuinely have makeup in my eyes, and it started before I ate the lemon. But
All right.
there we go.
It's like,
I feel pretty bloody good.
yeah, okay, vegetable tier list. Lemon number 1, the rest of them. All right. It's just got a lot of rind.
Ah, I like it. I kind of
Can
like
you eat the? Can you eat the thing? The
skin. I'll have a bit.
oh.
All right, that's the
That's
end.
kind of
All right,
good.
we'll go out eating the skin because that's how pathetic we are. We'll see you
I
tomorrow.
actually quite like this. This was a kind of a good time.
Not bad. Hopefully, there's not pesticides on it.
Let's never bring the chilies back ever. Let's just eat. Actually, no. This is getting worse. The more I have, it's really just getting bad.
Can we end the stream?
No, we're just